What if I told you that one 5 minute conversation revealed more about this war than weeks of official press conference?
Thank you. Earlier, Secretary Hegseth, you talked about flexible realism. So let's see if we can figure out how much of it is realistic and how much of it is just flexible. Secretary Hegseth, last year I asked you some questions about Indo-PACOM and threats in Europe, and you had a hard time answering those questions. I'm sure you prepped better this year, and I'm hoping you can answer some of these basic questions since now we are at war. Do you know what the price of oil is today?
I don't know where it's gone as this time of this hearing, but roughly $100 a barrel.
It's actually closer to 120, 117.
Well, it depends on the index you're looking at.
I'm looking at Brent. Do you know what the price was the day before of Brent, the day before we went to war?
It was certainly lower. You understand you're taking some economic risk. But I would note
a lot lower.
The energy dominance this president has unleashed has put us in an incredible position.
Thank you. So it's $72. And so now we have a 62% increase. By the way, the department obviously will be paying those extra fuel costs. That's going to be not insignificant, but so will the American people. Now, at its narrowest point, how wide is the Strait of Hormuz?
I think it's about 12 miles, but I'd have to check.
It's 24 miles, but 12 miles is actually the relevant number because that's the navigable channel.
That's the international water navigable channel point.
And do you know how many barrels of oil transited the Strait of Hormuz each day before the war started?
I don't know the exact number, but you're looking at over 100 oil tankers usually transited a day, or 120 a day would transport the strait.
Yeah, and so 20 million barrels a day, and right now they're at an 81% reduction. So it sounds like you've done your homework. You're tracking pretty well what the strategic situation is. So a couple of questions. Were you aware that if we struck Iran, that they would most likely close the Strait of Hormuz?
Of course, our department was prepared and planning for every possible contingency, being front and center as something they may do in a desperate state to attempt to
which is what they've done,
some kind of control.
And I appreciate that. And earlier you told Mr. Moulton that this department has looked at all aspects of the risk and that the president got every possible perspective. And then recently you just said that the president did understand the risks and had the courage to undertake the endeavor nonetheless, and that's leadership, or words to that effect, pretty close. And so I just want to kind of give you the state of play right now. It's been 2 months of war. We have hopes for a resolution, but the war continues, really. Iran has closed the strait, and we've now gone in and blockaded their ports. 1/5 of the world's oil is unable to transit the strait, and the American people and the department are paying significantly more. And you also said that this is what the American people actually voted for. But actually, the American people voted for a promise not to get into Middle Eastern wars. And they voted for lower prices. And this is the exact opposite of what they got. So let me ask you this. The president ordered the strike. Is that correct?
The president's been saying for over 30 years that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. So he's been very clear as a position. When the American people voted for President Trump overwhelmingly, they voted for that position. I got that.
But the president ordered the strike. Is that correct?
Which strike are you referring to?
The strike on Iran, the war that we're in.
Oh, of course. I mean, he's the commander-in-chief. He's made the calls.
It sounds like you're blaming Daddy for the mess we're in, and I don't think he's going to be particularly happy with you.
I see what you're trying to do. There's no daylight in this administration on this campaign, and I'm happy to stand shoulder to shoulder with this administration.
Reclaiming my time. So let's shift gears. Last time we were here, I asked you if you'd apologize to the mother of an F-18 pilot whose son you endangered for sharing classified information on a signal chat. You refused. On March 1st, 6 Army soldiers, including a constituent of mine, were killed by an Iranian drone strike. Do you take any responsibility for those deaths?
I was there at Dover when they came back. Of course, I take responsibility for every aspect of this mission.
Well, I appreciate that, because you also complained about the fact that tragic things happen. The news makes it front-page news. The press only wants to make the president look bad. Is it about the soldiers, or is it about the president looking bad?
It's not just the president who wants, or the media that wants to make him look bad. It's you.
It's actually about the soldiers, and it's frankly reprehensible that you would make that statement. And so, Truman had a sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." And this
The gentleman's time has expired. The chair now recognizes.
No shouting, no drama, and no personal attack. Just simple question and answer that became impossible to ignore. This was not a political performance. It was a careful investigation. And by the end, many people were left asking only one question. Who is really taking responsibility? This question is so important. Let's break down what happened. Representative Whitman did not try to trap Secretary Pete Hegseth. Instead, she asked simple questions, one after another. First, she asked about oil prices. Brent crude oil was trading at $117 per barrel. Hegseth answered that it was around $100. That may not sound like a huge difference, but during a war connected to a global oil supply, knowing the correct number matters. Oil prices affect gasoline and food, shipping and heating costs. Millions of families feel those change every day. Then she asked about the Strait of Hormuz. This waterway carries about around 20 million barrels of oil every day, and almost 1/5 of the world's oil supply. Hegseth struggled to answer basic questions about its size and daily traffic. Why does this matter? Yes, because earlier in the hearing, he said the administration had studied every possible risk before the conflict began. If every risk was considered, why were the basic facts missing? Another question this. Whitman did not argue. Yes, she simply compared his earlier statement with his answer. Then the discussion became even more serious. Oh my god, what's happening here? She asked one direct question. Nobody expected this. Who gave the order to start the operation? Hegseth confirmed that the president gave the order. This is so critical point. But instead of explaining the decision, he suggested that the president would not be happy with her question. We will end the video. See you in the next video.